Welcome back to Stache Club Wrestling. My name is John.
My name is Dante.
We're a little over halfway through the year 2024, and that means there have been 7 WWE PLEs. And today we're going to look at halfway through the year. What are the best ones? What are the worst ones? We're going to rank them in this tier list, S through D. Before we get started, if you could hit subscribe, turn on the bell for notifications. We never say that, but that's a new one.
Do it. You better do it.
Patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. You get bonus episodes of the podcast. We have merch in the description. Everything else, you get it. That said, Dante, we're going to start from the top. We're going to chronologically here. We're going to go to the Royal Rumble.
I have the matches pulled up on my phone as well,
Please.
so we have a little refresher. Royal Rumble. We have the Women's Rumble won by Bayley.
Huge.
Last eliminating Liv Morgan, who returned. Roman Reigns defeated AJ Styles, LA Knight, and Randy Orton. WWE Championship match. Logan Paul defeated Kevin Owens by disqualification. I think
brass
Kevin
knuckles.
had the brass knuckles, got caught with them.
Okay, that was
the US
fine.
belt. And then Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble by last eliminating CM Punk.
Interesting.
Yes. So
Roman AJ Orton should be more memorable.
It was an underwhelming match. I think Fatal 4-Way, just the star power in that match. I think it was Orton's first championship match since returning. It was hyped up a lot.
It was.
I had high hopes for it, and I definitely felt let down. But I feel like the two Rumble matches,
I think that's
two right people won.
That's what this is hanging on for. And the ending with the men's with Punk and Cody was crazy. Liv returning was huge.
Yep.
Bayley winning to further the damage control story
Naomi
and everything.
returned that match.
Naomi was huge.
Grace came out.
Yes.
In the men's one, there was a few guys that was people were putting their eggs in the basket of it's either Punk or Cody, but there were realistically a few people that could have won. And
Gunther was up there.
Gunther was up there. I personally also enjoyed the Logan Paul Kevin Owens match.
I did too.
I thought it was good. I thought the ending was clever. I would say either high B or low A.
We can move them around, but to get a basis, I think this is a solid high B.
Yeah.
I could see it being moved to A.
Right.
But I think
we're going school grades. I'm thinking this is an 89. 90 maybe.
I agree.
Know what I mean? So
next, Elimination Chamber. Rhea Ripley on the cover.
Elimination Chamber in Perth. We had I think this was, I don't know if this was pre-show or whatever. It was the Kabuki Warriors defeated Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell to retain the women's tag team belts.
Okay.
Becky Lynch won the women's Elimination Chamber, defeating Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Raquel Rodriguez, and Tiffany Stratton.
I remember this being very good, but I remember this being the Tiffany Stratton standout. Yes,
100%. The Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest defeated New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, to retain the Undisputed Tag Team Championship.
Okay.
Drew McIntyre defeated Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, LA Knight, Logan Paul, and Randy Orton to win the men's Elimination Chamber match. And in the main event, Rhea Ripley defeated Nia Jax to retain the Women's World Championship.
Also solid.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Rhea Ripley felt unbelievably huge.
Superstar. We were talking about her presentation. It was insane. Drew McIntyre was the right man to win the World Heavyweight Championship. You had Logan Paul cost Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton eliminated him or something.
Yeah.
Logan Paul hit him with the brass knuckles. So that set that up.
Was this when AJ?
And then AJ cost LA Knight.
AJ cost LA Knight.
The biggest hater at the time.
Yep.
Go flying across the world. Becky Lynch winning was kind of some people wanted Liv. People were very behind Tiffany at the time. The two tag team matches were tag team matches for sure. I mean, I won't lie. I don't think this was the most memorable pay-per-view.
I don't think so
in the
either.
world. I think this was a very predictable pay-per-view. I feel I think that was the biggest criticism of it, because it was it's the pay-per-view before WrestleMania. You have to set the scene here.
The Rhea being on top of the world was a standout. Right. Tiffany was a standout. I would call this a
this
B.
is another one where I'm thinking low B, high C. I think I'm willing to put it in B. Well, I mean, again, we might go back and move some things around, because I don't know. I feel I like the Royal Rumble a lot more than Elimination Chamber.
What if we went? I think Rumble. I think
Rumble
we can
move up to A,
and this can be a B.
Yeah,
I think that's
to
fair.
be respectful.
Yeah,
of Royal Rumble.
I agree. Mania, you don't have to go over.
Yeah, no, we don't.
But
have to,
I mean, we were there. I mean, here's the thing.
It's gonna go next.
I want to talk about it, but it's going next.
It's one of the best Manias of
Absolutely.
all time. So I mean, let's see. I mean,
and we're talking night 1, night 2 here. We're just gonna put it into
a combination.
One. Regardless. Unbelievable.
We had the tag team ladder match, which finally split up the tag team belts, which was much needed.
A lot of fun.
Drew McIntyre won the World Heavyweight Championship in a banger of an opening match on night 2. CM Punk cost Drew. Damian cashed in.
I mean, the Damian cash in.
That was incredible.
Unreal.
Sami Zayn defeated Gunther. The tag team match to main event night 1. Rollins and Cody. Roman Rock. Obviously, Roman and Cody night 2.
I mean, yeah, the main event was
Bailey Io,
Bailey Io was
Becky,
good. Banger of a card. Bangers.
I mean, Logan, Randy, and Kevin Owens was
really good.
I love that match. LA Knight,
even like
AJ,
the Rey Mysterio Dom tag match was fun.
The only match from the weekend that well, I guess I guess I really shouldn't have an opinion on it because I was in line to get food. Was the
Authors of Pain
street fight match? Yeah,
it was honestly fun. It was honestly fun.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was.
And again, the bias is obvious. We were there.
We were
live
there.
For both
the
nights.
Energy was.
This
wild.
is an S. If I could put this S plus, I would.
100%. I mean, this is probably top 5 Mania of all time.
Yeah, I went back and rewatched. Maybe like a week after. I rewatched it.
I started doing that recently because I hadn't gone back and watched it. I watched the tag
good
team
show.
match. Fuck,
it's a good show.
It's like obviously being in the crowd is great, but like watching it so you can actually see what's going on.
It's cool to get added context,
and the commentary makes it a lot better.
For sure.
It adds a lot more to it.
Easy S.
Okay, easy S.
I give us Backlash in France.
Okay. The Bloodline, which was Sola, Sikoa, and Tama Tonga, defeated Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. I believe this is when Tonga Loa debuted. Okay. Bayley defeated Naomi and Tiffany to retain the Women's Championship, which was a very good match, I feel. Damian Priest defeated Jey Uso to retain the World Heavyweight Championship.
Solid.
People have their opinion on that, but I thought it was a good match. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defeated the Kabuki Warriors to win the Tag Team Championship.
This was a cool moment. This was a cool moment.
And then in the main event, Cody Rhodes defeated AJ Styles to retain the Undisputed WWE Championship in what I feel like was a fantastic match.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the main event and Jade and Bianca winning was like really, really cool. If it wasn't for those two moments, I'd probably be at like a C.
Right. I think this is a B pay-per-view. PLE, I feel like.
I would move Elimination Chamber down to C.
If we were going to do that. I do think this is better than Elimination Chamber.
I agree.
Chamber.
Boom. C. B.
Because
I agree with that.
The street fight was fun because it's a street fight, right? But like...
Cody's first huge defense. I mean, he's on the poster with the title.
Yeah. The Bayley, Naomi, Tiffany, I thought was a
really
good match. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just filled with like good matches and then headlined by a great match.
I think... Maybe, if I remember correctly at the time, it was like people thought it should have been a bigger spectacle, it being like the France pay-per-view and Backlash, but like especially if it was in the United States, I think it'd be like, oh, this is like definitely a B or A, like solid whatever. I think
100%.
I think expectations were a little bit higher, but like looking back on it, solid. It's the pay-per-view one after Mania,
exactly.
So it's like it's hard to have like
a fallout,
yeah,
and it's like you're not gonna be like titles aren't gonna be changing hands too much, anything like that.
King and Queen of the Ring.
All right.
Excuse me.
So
I feel like this happened last week.
The pre-show match: Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defeated Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell to retain the women's tag team belts. Opening the show, Liv Morgan defeated Becky Lynch to win the women's world championship. Sami Zayn defeated Chad Gable and Bronson Reed to retain the Intercontinental Championship.
I think this was the match where like the biggest takeaway was like, oh, could he use like 8 more minutes?
Yes,
could he use 8 more?
We did say that.
It was a good match though.
Nia Jax defeated Lyra Valkyria to win the women's Queen of the Ring. Gunther defeated Randy Orton to win the men's King of the Ring.
Fun.
There was that funky ending with like Randy's shoulder was up and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
was that supposed to happen? They didn't really do anything.
I think in hindsight, it seems like no.
Yeah, no,
seems like no one's supposed
an
to.
Accident for sure. And then the main event, Cody Rhodes defeated Logan Paul to retain the undisputed undisputed WWE Championship. And I thought that was a fun match.
Yeah,
I mean,
damn, I'm leaning B. It's nothing like groundbreaking, but everything's just like pretty fun.
Right, like Liv won the Women's World Championship was a cool moment. Sami Zayn, I agree with you. It should have gone a few extra minutes. I think it needed that extra gear, and it would have been like, oh, could be like a fucking one of the better matches of the year type of.
And even like Nia winning,
the ending
was
of
a
that
cool
match
moment.
Was insane.
The second half, they really kicked into another gear, and then like Nia proved herself and really proved like her improvement. So I think that was great.
And Gunther and Randy, I thought was a really good match. If you take out the ending,
it was so good. If
the ending was different, I think people would be talking about this match more.
I agree,
but that's kind of what overshadows it. And Cody and Logan, I thought they killed.
Cody Logan was fun.
They killed.
Cody Logan was a good time. I think I'm with you at B.
I
think I'm with you at B. Boom. All right, 2 more left. We got Clash at the Castle.
Clash at the Castle, Scotland. Opening match: Cody Rhodes defeated AJ Styles in an quit match.
This was nuts.
This was
crazy.
was a fun one.
We saw some blood. We finally saw some blood in Cody.
Cody with that crimson red. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn defeated Bianca Belair and Shayna and Zoe Stark to win the Women's Tag Team Championship.
This was great.
Really cool moment. Sami Zayn once again defeats Chad Gable to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Controversial. Bayley defeated Piper Niven to retain the Women's Championship.
It was cool.
And then Damian Priest defeated Drew McIntyre to retain the World Heavyweight Championship, obviously with interference from CM Punk coming out, acting as the ref, slow blowing Drew McIntyre. I think this show it's subjective because people really wanted Drew to win. People were kind of. I remember we were talking about how upset some people were with the ending of the I Quit match with like it was
with
like
the
he held the
steps
stairs,
and shit.
But we agreed that it was like if I saw a guy with steel steps, I was about to bash my head in. I'd probably say I quit, and it's kind of hard to like
an I Quit match is
ending to a match.
Tricky to plan.
Even Alba Fire and Dawn winning, I thought that was a cool home. Like Drew didn't win. But those two won at home. Sami Zayn, Chad, my biggest criticism was how many fucking times are we going to do this? But like they still have good matches. And Bayley and Piper Niven was a good match for what it was.
And Piper was the hometown.
Exactly. Chelsea came out like the Ray mask and had the anti. I think this is another B PLE in my opinion. Like I don't think I think it might.
I'm pretty close to A.
I was gonna say I think this is the highest B on here. You could convince me that this is an A1 because I'm fine with Damian Priest winning. I'm fine with the ending to the Cody match. The tag. I mean, I think this is an event where the right people won.
Yeah.
But some people are just. It's controversial. I think this is either a high B or low A. You can convince me for a low A.
Like it didn't blow me away. I think A. I think we're being too generous if we put it at A.
How do we compare this to a Royal Rumble pay-per-view? I think this is a high B.
I agree.
We can go back and like look at it. Whatever. Granted, we only have one.
I'll even put it up. Yeah. Last one we got. Halfway through the year, Money in the Bank just happened this past weekend.
We'll talk about it on the podcast.
I was going to say, if you want to hear us talk way more in depth about it, go to the podcast, listen to that. So we're not going to get too in depth here, but we can talk about the beats here.
Okay, so Drew McIntyre won the Money in the Bank, men's Money in the Bank to open the show. Sami Zayn defeated Braun Breaker to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Damian Priest defeated Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, who cashed in during the match to make it a triple threat match. Damian Priest wins that after CM Punk comes back, costs Drew the match. We'll get more in depth on the podcast.
I don't want to.
So we'll save it for then, but that did happen. Tiffany Stratton won the women's Money in the Bank match.
Great. My match of the night. I can say that. My match of the night.
Looking back, I think that also was mine. Tiffany pushing Chelsea over to end it was... and then the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga defeats Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton with Solo pinning Cody Rhodes. Shocker.
And that was like I don't think that should have been the main event.
I don't think it should. I understand why it was because obviously big moments, Solo pinning Cody. I don't think the match was anything. I think the highlight of that match was seeing Jacob Fatu in a WWE ring doing what he can.
Sammy and Braun, I got a big problem.
That could have hit another gear.
I got a problem.
I believe. I think that could have hit another gear. Drew McIntyre winning. I have my critiques on that, which I will get into on the podcast.
Spoiler:
again.
the name of the title of today's of this week's podcast. Well, this comes out afterward, but the title of the podcast is going to be: Did WWE waste the men's Money in the Bank? You know what I mean?
Big time.
I would go.
And then Damian Priest that match. I mean, I wanted Damian to win in the first place.
Yeah.
So like,
agreed.
I'm okay with him winning. It was just the nature of it and like
I like the Punk interference on paper,
but yeah,
we'll talk about it.
We'll save it. So I
guess if you're watching this, because this comes out after the podcast, so you may have already seen it.
I really think this is a high C. I thought this was a disappointing pay-per-view.
I'm not too far behind you.
I'm fine with Sammy winning, Damian winning, Tiffany winning, and I predicted the Bloodline. I don't even know what the results were for the predictions, to be honest with you.
You had the briefcase. You won.
So I did win.
Yeah.
But like, there was a few things that I really think they fumbled here, and I want to put
I'd go C as well. I'm not.
I mean, I hate to say it.
I think
it had potential to be an A. Yeah. It could have been as high as A, but it didn't deliver.
I'm closer to a low B than you are, but like C, I'm like,
I think also I'm considering we have 3 Bs right now. And
I don't want to put another one in B.
I don't want to have B being the average.
This isn't to where Clash and Backlash was. You know what I mean?
I just think they had two directions to go down, and they picked the one that I didn't want them to go down. So that's why I would put it there. But
and that's where we are. That's where we're standing halfway through the year.
I honestly don't think we.
No,
have
I think
to
I'm
change
fine with
anything.
it.
I think that's.
I would only move Elimination Chamber down to D just based on this set. I don't think it's a D. I think it's a D in terms of.
I
this
think
set.
Money in the Bank is better than Elimination Chamber, but
agreed.
I do think that they both high C, middle to low C.
Yeah, the D is like a stinker.
Yeah, I don't think it was a bad pay-per-view.
I don't think we've had a stinker this year. Let us know how you like this. Let us know if you want to see more tier lists and things like that. I thought it would have been interesting to kind of, we're halfway through the year, take a look like where we are, how are we doing, and we're doing pretty good.
At the end of the year, I mean, we can revisit this with every pay-per-view even, or maybe the second half ones, and we can see where that stands. But,
absolutely.
I mean, everything being C and higher, I mean, they didn't put on a stinker. Like you said,
they didn't put on a stinker.
So a few ones that aren't memorable, I'm probably not going to go back and rewatch. But they over-delivered on some of them.
We got plenty of time left for a stinker. I think, don't worry.
We're due. We're very due for a stinker.
Thank you for watching. Again, leave your comments. What do you think? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Follow us on everything. Please subscribe. Stache Club Wrestling on Patreon is linked in the description, and we have merch in there as well.
Hell yeah.
Dante, I'll see you next time, And we're going to record a podcast that you've already watched.
Yeah. Peace.